All right, so we have our paper, and for anybody who watches the recording, you'll want a couple sheets of paper, or at least one, and then a pen or pencil, and also something to write on, because your mat might not be too good. So a clipboard or a book or something. So I just happened to draw some cards this morning out of the medicine cards by Jamie Sams and Carson. I forget the guy's first name. David Carson. And I'm not going to go into all three of the cards that I picked, but the last card I picked is really no surprise to me because it's in my astrology chart. It's just been a lifelong issue. So the one animal card that I picked, the third one, was armadillo, and armadillo is about boundaries. Does anybody else have challenges around boundaries? Being able to say no, being able to say yes when you want to. So I thought this was so good, and I thought it might be fun to share it. I'll try not to take up our whole yoga time so that we get a good practice in as well, because that's really what you're here for. But I think this might be helpful, at least to cause you to think about it. So I'm just going to read a little, there's a page here about armadillo, and you wouldn't think armadillo is a beneficial creature, but the qualities of armadillo are. So armadillo wears its armor on its back, its medicine a part of its body. Its boundaries of safety are a part of its total being. Armadillo can roll into a ball and never be penetrated by enemies. That sounds kind of nice, doesn't it? What a gift it is to set your boundaries so that harmful words or intentions just roll off. Your lesson is in setting up what you are willing to experience. So this is our choice of what we want to experience. If you do not wish to experience feeling invaded, just call on armadillo medicine. A clue to how to proceed is to make a circle on a piece of paper. So if you want to get your paper out and your writing instrument, whatever you brought, and see it as a medicine shield. So if you want to write medicine shield at the top of your circle, just so that if you look at this later on, you'll know what it represents, because this is from the Native American Indian traditions, spiritual traditions. In the body of the shield, write all that you are desiring to have, do, or experience. So inside the circle are the things that you want in your life, people, how you want to be treated, what you want to have in your life, physical objects, and things that you want to do. So on mine, I just listed have, do, or experience. Include all things that give you joy. Now, we don't have time to do all the things that this is requesting, so we can get started with it. And if you want to reflect on it in your own personal time, you'll at least have some ideas to work with. So this sets up boundaries that allow only these chosen experiences to be a part of your life. These boundaries become a shield that wards off the things which are undesirable to you. The shield reflects what you are and what your will is to others on an unconscious level. Outside of the shield, you may put what you are willing to experience, quotation marks, by invitation only, end quote. For example, a visit from a long lost relative or criticism from friends or people needing handouts. And let me just add here that handouts can be more than just things that you hand out, money, clothing, just any handouts. It can be energetic as well. People can sometimes become psychic vampires and steal your energy if we allow it. That's where our boundaries come in. So she says, if Armadillo has waddled into the cards you chose, it is time to define your space. We speak of sacred space in our yoga classes frequently. You may have been too willing to let your home become a bus station. You may find that you cannot say no, even when you know that you will have to cancel plans to be obliging. This routine can get old in a hurry. It may be time to ask yourself the following questions. And you might even want to make a note of these questions. There are 4 of them. So if you have space on your paper. The first one is, am I honoring the time I need for my personal enjoyment? People who are caring and who are caregivers, as I've worked in the field and in service, even through yoga and Reiki, caregivers often relinquish their own enjoyment for the benefit of others. And I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm just saying they're suggesting that we look at this and see, how does it feel in our heart of hearts? The second one is, do others treat me like a doormat? Ever been there? 3, why do I always get upset when I'm taken for granted? Well, just the mere fact that you're being taken for granted tells you a little something, I guess. And the fourth one, is there a reason for my being a yes person? So all of the answers to these questions relate to setting up boundaries, what you will and won't do, what makes you feel uncomfortable and what is comforting to you. How you react in any circumstance has to do with your ability to be objective. You cannot be objective if you cannot tell where the other person's personality stops and where yours begins. If you have no boundaries, you are like a sponge. It will seem as if all the feelings in a room full of people must be yours. Ask yourself if you are really feeling depressed or if this feeling actually belongs to the person you are talking to. Then allow Armadillo's armor to slice in between, giving you back your sense of self. Now, having worked with this issue for 70 some years, I know exactly what it feels like, and I'm getting more and more aware because the feelings that come up are unmistakable. So are you able to write down some things inside and outside your circles?
Yes.
Does anybody want to share any of the items that you have written down? Say inside the circle first.
Yeah, I want to get back to the strength and flexibility that I used to have.
Oh, okay. So you want some physical changes.
Yeah, and I also want to make sure I have lots of quality fun time with my grandkids.
Okay. Family and being with kids, and they are special.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I put travel more because I miss that. Because I love to travel. More time in nature, and I want to have a house near the water.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. So, you know, either whether it's like a creek, I just love water, or like on the lake.
Gee, how unusual for a Pisces.
Yeah. Need to get back in the water. No, I'm playing.
Oh, that's awesome.
Mhm.
So, can you think of any experiences that you would include by invitation only? I think by invitation is even more allowing these to happen. I can think of one with my home health care part-time job. I've been noticing how I I feel the need from the supervisor that asks me to go to these shifts, these clients, and to work with them, and it's just like a snowball rolling downhill. So I have to create a healthy boundary there, or my stuff doesn't get done, my work. So what I have planned for our yoga poses, there are some things in yoga that we can do to bring up the imagery and the energy of healthy boundaries, or the ability to say no. So I'll incorporate those in our practice this time. So is everybody okay with this? Or is it boring to you? Or
No, it's good. It gives us things to think about.
okay.
Yep, it's good.
Yep, I agree. Things to think about.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, I will well, I see some of you have muted already. Mooted. It's a moot point, right? Okay. I've got everybody muted. So and you can still unmute if you want to. So we'll start with centering. And we'll start with a healthy boundary, creating sacred space and a protection. So if you want to imagine yourself seated inside a large bubble, and I'm going to suggest something unusual. I usually use pink or green or some color, but do you all know what hematite looks like? The stone hematite, it's a silvery almost a mercury color. So I'm going to suggest that you imagine that all around you. Not a thick energy, but just the color, the same as hematite, as a reminder of the protective. And hematite works with self-esteem as well. And we need to have good self-esteem to even be able to create healthy boundaries. So place yourself in your bubble of energy. We'll say hematite energy. My guide just arrived or entered. So just start to relax now. Sitting tall and uplifted. Our posture can represent a healthy boundary in itself because it's a point of confidence. And then allow your breath to flow naturally. Notice if it's flowing easily, if there's glitches in it. Notice your feelings, emotions. Notice if your mind is busily racing or if it's fairly calm or still. And then check in with your physical body. Sense your muscles and joints. Notice any tight areas or tension, sore spots. And then our intention for today, if it's okay with you, I'll set an intention, and if you want to choose or add to it, that's perfectly fine. But I would create the intention that this yoga practice, this specific set of poses that we're about to do, will permanently bring us to have healthy, balanced boundaries. That this will be firmly ensconced in our consciousness, that we are worthy of having healthy boundaries, of the ability to say no when that's what we really feel and what's right for us. So along that line, we'll release anything that is not of healthy self-esteem or boundaries. So we'll breathe our arms up overhead and bring our hands into Kali Mudra, which is palms together, interlace all the fingers except for the index fingers. Thumbs are side by side. And what we are going to do is exhale now and lower our arms down in front of us. The fingers will point down, releasing all of that into the earth, separating the hands, bringing arms up overhead once again. Deep breath. Kali Mudra. And like a sword cutting through the ribbons of poor boundaries or self-esteem, whichever it is, cutting through that, breaking the habit, breaking the process of that, and releasing it through the fingertips, cutting through those ribbons. A couple more times. And then just pausing with our fingertips pointing to the floor, allowing any vestiges left to drain through the fingertips, down into the earth to be transmuted. You can transmute it on the way out, or you can allow the spirit friends to help. And then just take your arms out to the side, palms facing forward, bend your elbows, taking a breath. Exhale and just open the shoulders and the chest, the ribs, drawing shoulder blades close together, opening the heart, the solar plexus, your power center, knowing that you are protected. And then just letting your arms float down, bringing them around behind you, interlace fingers, and draw your arms away, stretching. And if you like, you can take your head back and squeeze any tension out of the neck and shoulders. Breathe in your deep breaths. Oxygen and prana that flow in on the breath are the first food sources, nurturants to our bodies and minds, even before food. And then release your hands, bring your arms back out to the side, palms facing forward, taking a breath, and bring your arms in. And once again, open. And then bring the arms together in front, just forearms and palms, and press together, give a squeeze. And then just straighten your arms. It might help to overlap one thumb to keep your hands connected. And then taking a breath. And as though this is your sword, just reach your fingertips forward, the point of your sword. Drawing shoulders forward, taking a breath. Exhale, lowering the chin down to the chest. Continue to reach fingertips, the sword point forward. Open your upper back, releasing. Now, if you like, you can take one arm and reach it forward, and then the other arm. And then just allow your arms to come around to your side and circle around a few times in your shoulders. And reverse. All right, sitting tall in center with the nose pointed forward, taking your breath. And lift your head up out of your neck, up out of your shoulders. And then exhale your left ear to your left shoulder. Nose still pointing forward. Drawing your head away from the shoulder, so you're pulling away. Giving a stretch to the side of your neck. And breathe as you come back up to center. And exhale to the other side. Ear to shoulder. And then just a few pendulum swings, lowering your head down, side to side. It's your own pace. Loosen up. All right, and then lower your chin down to your chest. Draw your shoulder blades down and let that assist you in lifting your head up. And then bring your palms behind you and just bring your feet out, mat width, and a few side to side moves with your legs. And slide your heels out and shake out your legs. Ankles, circle around. Okay, and then just bend your knees and swing your legs around behind you. Just pull into a puppy stretch. Open the shoulder joint, just pull back away from your palms. Now, one of the things we want to do for good self-esteem and for healthy boundaries is to tone up the core muscles, the abdominal muscles. So just come into your first plank. Making a nice long line. Draw your navel in. Give a hug to your spine. Now just bring the weight more onto your right hand and lift your left arm forward. Reach. And bring it down. And press your left hand into the mat and reach your right arm forward. Focus on your core here. All right, come down, let your knees down, Pull back into puppy stretch once again. Breathe. Nice easy breaths. All right, and then lift back up into your plank. And then your down dog. Just pull your heels down to the floor. Okay, so from here, in your down dog, just bring your right knee in towards your nose. Come forward into plank, keep your knee towards your nose. Go back into down dog. Lift your leg up to the ceiling. Reach it up. And bend your knee. Bring it back down to your nose in down dog. Breathe. Pull forward into your plank. Knee to nose. How does that feel? And then pull back. Three-legged dog, lift. Bend your knee up here. Lift. We'll come into a psoas stretch. Lift your knee, lift your hip. Shoulders forward. Keep lifting your leg up. And bring it down. And let your knees down. Come up sitting on your heels for a couple of breaths and circle around in your wrists. In both directions. Fingers, squeeze, bring some energy down. Get that blood circulating. And then bend your elbows. Just swing your arms a little bit here. All right, and then we'll come back into plank. Press up into downward facing dog. And then draw your left knee in towards your nose. See if this is easy or difficult. And then keep your knee close to your nose as you come into plank. And pull back and lift into three-legged dog. And bend your knee, knee to nose, into plank, knee to nose. And pull back, lift into three-legged dog. And bend your knee, lift it up to the ceiling, open the hip, relax your neck and jaw.
And pull back down into downward facing dog. And then just step your feet in, forehead to knee pose. Give a stretch to the backs of your legs, hips, spine. And then just swing around, drawing a big circle with your hands around your body. Think of it as part of your shield, your medicine shield. Coming back to center, head to knee. All right, step your feet hip width apart. Bend your knees, lower your hips. Step your right leg back. Come onto your fingertips and lift your torso, arm's length from the floor. Get a good firm press into the ground and lift up into warrior one. Breathe, arms overhead. Bring your hands into Kali Mudra once again. Reaching up through your fingertips. And if you want a few vinyasa moves, just breathe in and out. Okay. Holding your pose. We're going to lower our sword once again. Take in your breath and reach up through your sword tip, fingertips. Exhale and cut any further ribbons connected to unhealthy boundaries. And breathe it up. Reach and see if you can lift up and back. And back to center. Lower your sword down, cut through the ribbons. And breathe it up. And come back to center, bring palms together over your heart. Pivot and come to the other side. Lift the back heel, hands in Kali Mudra. Coming up. And your vinyasa moves, breathe. Come into warrior one, lift up and back. Open the chest, solar plexus, let it open and spin in that chakra. Shining. Come back to center and lower your sword down. Cutting those ribbons to old habits around boundaries. Breathe. Cut through. Breathe. And lower down. Breathe it up. And if you need to turn on your mat, we'll head into warrior two here. So just pivot and open the arms out. Align. And a few vinyasa moves. Breathe it in. Exhale out. Breathe in. Exit out. Now from here, just flex the wrist as though to say stop or no. Gaze over the arm, over the bent knee. Draw your wrists together in front, opening that space, clearing it. Breathe and lift arms up. See if you can touch your fingers tips together. Exhale down. Touch. Creating that medicine shield around you, as though you have armadillo protecting you. And then come back, arms across in warrior two arms. Draw that knee in, unflex your wrist, just lengthen them out. We'll go to the other side. Take in your breath, flex the wrist, exhale. Some vinyasa moves, in and out. There is a philosophy that says always say yes to the universe. So when you have your hands in position of representing no, it's not that you're not aligned with the yes to the universe. It's just you're saying yes to yourself and healthy boundaries. Come into your warrior two. Gaze over the bent knee. Take in your breath. Exhale, wrists together down in front of you. Breathe up, fingertips touch overhead. Exhale down. Move with the breath. One more time. And then out to the side. Straighten your wrists. Draw your knee in. Toes pointing forward. Just slide your feet in a couple inches and hop in to Tadasana or Samasthiti. Palms together in front of your heart. Take in your breath. Exhale. Just bring the weight over onto your right foot and bend your left knee. And then see if you can turn towards that knee, coming into a gentle twist. And coming out, placing the weight onto your left foot. And lift your knee. Take your time. And come into your twist. And unwind. Lower your foot down. Breathe arms up overhead. Swan dive. Exhale forward. Bend your knees. Just round your back here. Lengthen. And reach your hands around behind you. Lower yourself down into sitting. Stretch out. And then just relax down for Shavasana. Remembering that you are protected and it's your choice to say yes to yourself or to say yes to others. Allow your body to come into stillness. Allow your medicine shield to protect you. We are setting it permanently. The shield of Armadillo. Just relax in that knowing. Now, just for a few minutes, imagine a piece of hematite stone, the silvery gemstone, and imagine it over your solar plexus. If it's a challenge for you to work with the armadillo image, that creature with his his shield on his shell, then perhaps you can imagine Archangel Raphael with his sword, his healing sword, and Archangel Michael protecting you. And helping you to make choices that are in your own best interest. Allow the hematite stone to become light and transparent with the same color, and then absorb it into your solar plexus chakra to always be there, to always protect you. And then starting to come back to awareness of your full body, the floor, the sounds in the room. Bring some movement in to hands and feet, staying relaxed, but bringing movement in. And slide your feet together and lift your knees up to your chest. Come over to one side and press up into sitting. Feeling empowered, self-respecting, caring for others, but always aware of your feelings with your choices. Bringing your hands into a mudra to seal in the work that you did, what you've achieved, what you've let go of, what you embrace. And then palms together over the flower of your heart. May you feel powerful and balanced and in love with the universe.
Namaste, everybody. Thank you for participating.